Hi folks, what's up iyatee? So I got a piece of root beer here that was a percussion slab, and we're going to see what we can do with it if I can find the braider. I went ahead and I nibbled around the outside a while back and haven't done anything else with it. We're going to see if we can knock it into shape. It's one of the new boppers. This is what they look like. I was just going to shoot the Texas project, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do that's going to be a fog napping blade. So I thought, well, I'll do a little bit of percussion work on video. Wasn't really in the mood for fogging. I had just done that video that released before this, which was a little bit of fog. Not much, just a little bit. If you haven't checked that video out, you should check it out. I think it's the first heart I ever did, as far as I can remember. I still got one more size of these boppers to make. I'm waiting on the materials to come in to make it, but all the other sizes will be available tomorrow, Monday, on the website. I do have there's a lot of orders that came in. It was pretty slow during the Memorial Day weekend. Really slow. That whole week was. But it picked back up this week. Here in the last few days, I got a lot of orders I got to get out tomorrow. That'll be the focus for tomorrow, is getting everyone's orders out. And then I have some other things going on this week. I do have a bunch more preforms, dovetails, all kinds of stuff that's got to be listed on the website. So hopefully the boppers and all those are listed tomorrow, which will be Monday. If not, then maybe I'll get the rest of it on Tuesday. These boppers are far better than the ones that I was making prior, before getting started with Mike and his tools. If you don't know, which this will make video number 3 now. I think I've mentioned it on. I'll be selling all the mice tools except for the boppers. They're really a time suck to make, and the cost of making them, they're not believe it or not, even at $70 a set or whatever, there just isn't that much profit there. Not really to make it worthwhile, but I'm doing it so that my customers can go there and buy boppers, and they don't have to go somewhere else to buy them. But money wise, it's not a big win. But I have to provide that. And I'm not going to be well, I started to say I'm not going to be carrying mics anymore because you can no longer wholesale them because of the cost and times is so much that there's just not enough profit there, you know, to be wholesaling it. And I understand that completely. But I took a lot of things that we did and developed when we were getting mics going and put into these boppers and made some changes. Oh no, Snappiola pudding. Doggone it. I shouldn't hit that on the end like that. Doggone it. Alright. I got to thinking about boppers. I was in such deep thought thinking about boppers. I think I just messed up. Maiden voyage for this little guy. It's the smallest bopper that I'm waiting on. Stuff to make. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to have happen. Pretty thin already, really, for the to where we're at. Yeah, so it's been a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It was my longest napping break since my back got injured. And one of the longest ones since I started napping, believe it or not. It's actually been less than 2 weeks, but it's just translucent. Well, I got my light. Hey, I think I've got my light. I might actually be able to show some translucency. Maybe. Sort of. How about this light on the end? That didn't do it. Maybe I need a brighter light. I had it going. Anyways, yeah. I held it up to this one and it really showed the translucency, but anyways, I still suck at showing translucency. Alright. Well, I was gonna make a Pedernales point, but shoot, I lost the whole bottom of it. Could still be. I mean, they weren't that big, but or a Pedernales type, I guess is. Yeah, some of them were pretty small. I had an idea of making a big one like that, though. Anyhow, I need to shape it up a little better. I've only ever made a couple Pedernales ever. Let's do some pressure flaking here. Just get it regularized. One of these has got most of them are pretty straight on the sides. There is one there's excurvate, recurved, I don't know, excurvate, is that what it's called? Anyhow, we'll see. It's already too thin to be an almond, so it's not going to turn into almond unless it was a flat ran over almond. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with the new boppers. No complaints. Hopefully y'all feel the same way about them when you get some in your hands. Boppers is the one thing that we all have to keep buying, right? And they don't last forever. I don't care how well made they are, they just don't last forever. And the tougher stuff you're working, the the less time they work. You know, I'm not even sure I want to make a Pedernales out of this, as big and wide as it is. Maybe I should figure out something else to do with it. Maybe it should be a Calf Creek or something like that. Probably gonna look in the book, because I think the Pedernales may need to just wait for another time. Need to get rid of that coarse abrader. I'm looking for my, there it is right there, I found it. I'm going to be going fishing next month. Well, here in about a week or so. We'll go fishing for a few days with my buddy John. I think my buddy Kobe's going to be there too. That'll be fun. I think there's trophy bass in there, and I've never gone to fish it. I've been invited before. I've gone by there and visited with them, but I've never actually fished. But it's a small managed lake, and by small I think it's probably, I don't know how big it is, 10, 15, 20 acres, I don't know. Too big to be considered a pool. All right, I'm gonna look in the book here. See what we got. That Montel's pretty wide. Still though. I know, you guys figure I probably should have Little River maybe. I don't know. What are we gonna make? car door shutting. Calf Creek. That would make a nice Calf Creek. Yeah. Just a little bit smaller than that one. A little bit larger than this one. Let's make a Calf Creek. That's what we're going to do. Calf Creek it is. I got a feeling my grandkids are going to come busting through the door. I'd be surprised unless their Gigi tells them to stay out of here and leave me alone for a little bit. She knows I'm out here filming. I do appreciate everyone that's checked on me. I want to know what happened to me and why I'm not filming anymore. Everything's fine. There's ain't no reason, just life, I guess. I guess I'll clean up all these edges and then I'll do my what's it say about them? Let's see. Texas, western Arkansas, Missouri, eastern Oklahoma, which fits right into this area. Deep parallel basal notches. All right. That's what I remembered them being. I've made these before, I just haven't made any in a while. That might have been someone else here, I don't know. Guys, I didn't hear any grandkids. And my grandkids ain't that quiet. Not usually. The boys are quieter than the girls, I think. Of course, the boys are younger. My grandson Casey, boy, I'll tell you what, he's going to be a handful. He started out, he was just boring baby, sweet as could be, but he's getting to the terrible twos now. And his brother Daniel, is named after my grandfather, who my dad is named after, who I'm named after my dad, so we're all Daniels. Anyways, he was a little bit more of a handful. He's still a baby. He's not even a year old, but when he was first born, he's a lot more of a handful than Casey was. And now they've changed places. Now Daniel's just happy, just smiling, laughing all the time, and Casey's a aggravator. His daddy's kind of an aggravator too. So maybe that's genetic, I don't know. Let's see if this is, I gotta get me or I need to dye this leg pad or something, so it's, I got one that's darker. I got 80 gallons of leather dye in there. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. I might do that today. Some leather dye on there so it's little bit darker. I got some contrast. And maybe I should put on my other glasses. Of course, I gotta find them first. That's the ones. What do we got here? What's that say? 2.0. Oh yeah, that's much better. I can actually see now. Yeah. I believe that is my granddaughter's. They must have hid it right in the house or something. My granddaughter Chloe, she'll be wanting to know where her pop-pop is here shortly though. Probably before I can get this point made. Their Gigi might tell them that I'm busy and I'll be in a bit. I've really enjoyed playing that flute. I really have. There's a lot to it. I was saying, I don't know what video I was saying it in, but or when I was saying that, but it's another one of those things like Flintknapping that's you probably never master it. It's kind of you're always learning. Right now I'm learning finger trills and voice trills and all kinds of things like that. Good grief, Danny, you gotta get your act together here. Get this thing shaped up. My mind's on grandbabies and just 1 second. Let's see, is the thing running? It's running. All right. I had to do a little drawing on it to try and get it a little more in shape. Chasing the symmetry all over the place and I'm also going to make some more of my points available. Running out of places to put them. I sell some points now and I give some points away, and I give away more than I sell. pretty close. All right. So let's mark the center roundabout. I think that's, I gotta put my other glasses back on. All else fell, spit on it. So that's about the center, I guess. We need a notch coming up there and a notch coming up there. So that's what we're going to do. And I'd like to get those notches in there pretty good ways. Let's see what happens here. Got my handy dandy trusty notching tool. When you're using this notch tool in this fashion, you want these to be sharp. Not dull, not blunt, none of that. They need to be sharp. And then I gotta put a thing right here. What you're doing is you're pressing down with quite a bit of force, and then you're pressing in. You don't want to twist it, because then you can bust an ear off or whatever. Just want it hanging over just a little bit. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. See, the tip of that's hanging over just a little bit. You're pressing straight down and then pushing with your leg and popping out of your next piece. You can see how big a pop out that made. Hopefully we don't break it. That did not make as big a pop out. I had a feeling that I needed to sharpen it before that last go when I didn't do it. Hopefully we can stall it out. Let's see. I actually think I still need to go that way, if it'll go. There we go. Yeah, baby. She's starting to stall out. Not anymore though. Look at that pop out. Good night. Alright. Let's touch it up again and kind of broke off a piece of that, unfortunately. Almost all these ears are at an angle there on all the examples. Should have sharpened that up. I'll tell you what, me and the wife were in Paris, Texas a couple days ago. Man, I might have stalled that out. I did. I stalled it out big time. Anyways, we were in Paris and we were looking for a place to eat, and there's not a lot of places, good places to eat in Paris. There's the old burger joint over there. That's pretty good. It's always crowded. We weren't in the mood for a burger, but so my wife had decided on this Mexican place. We put it in the GPS and headed over there. And of course the restaurant didn't exist anymore. It just went to an empty building. So apparently Google hasn't updated that. But anyhow, looked this other place and it had gyros. And that's not something that registers with my redneckedness. And I'd only ever had one before that, and that was in Montana, actually. A place my wife used to go to when she was in college there. And I couldn't remember, honestly, if I liked them or not. I'm a meat and potatoes, biscuits and gravy guy, you know. And throw in some Mexican and a little Mexican and some Cajun food in there. And that's about it. But anyways, I said, all right, let's go try gyros. So we went to go to this place. I don't remember the name of it now. We get there and it's I'm going, well, I told her, I said, this probably isn't a good sign, because it was a burger joint, Mexican food, gyro, which is Greek, restaurant. It's a little bitty tiny restaurant. And I thought, you know, most of the time if you go to those places that got multiple things like that, it's it's okay, but it's never great usually. But anyways, this place was pretty good. The gyros were, although they weren't as authentic as apparently if their sauce wasn't quite right that goes on it. But overall, it was delicious. And we got French fries and order French fries and order onion rings that went with it, and those were good. So I'm actually looking forward to going back and trying the Mexican food. So I suppose if you're ever in Paris, Texas, you just put in euros, and it'll come up with probably the one restaurant that has them, and you'll be able to find the place. But I lost the point. Here it is. All right, back to this. We were stalled out. Now we got to get unstalled. I forgot I was way zoomed in, so it's probably out of frame for all that mess, all that talking and fixing and stuff. There she is. We're stalled out again. All right. Yeah, we are stalled out badly. Well, come on now. I feel like that should let loose. Oh, my thing's all folded over. the other way now. There she went. That's plenty deep enough on that side. I would like to get this side just a couple pop outs deeper. If I'm going to get it installed. Sure ain't feeling like it. Oh no! Son of a gun. Broke part of that off. Got impatient and how in the world am I going to get that installed? Did it again too. I'm gonna have to make this one to match. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but someone's blowing me up on my phone. That is not what you want to see in a calf creek, for sure. Definitely not. I want those to be parallel. I'm gonna at the very least try to get rid of that grinding mark. Well, I don't know that that can be considered a calf creek now or not. Probably not. The notching's just not right. But it is what it is. I think everyone's in the family group chat trying to plan out my granddaughter's birthday party. Figured my family would have kicked me out by now, practicing that flute all the time. I get up in the morning, I practice it, I watch some videos and practice it in the morning with my morning coffee, and usually about 2 hours later I'm ready to go to work. I've been putting in a lot of practice. I don't know that it's paying off, but I am putting in a lot of practice. Yeah, we're not going to call that a calf creek. I don't know what you'd call that mess. There is some that the notches are opened up. I'll show you guys here in a minute, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted those just going straight up in there, but I should have thinned it a little bit more. Probably should have, I guess. Do I have a... I seen it earlier, actually, in my thing for, oh, there's one right here. Let's see. We don't care how long it is. We care that it's about 45, and it is 8, so whatever that is. I do need to try and get rid of that little, well, I guess oil hide it, but I was trying to get rid of that little thing there. I got quiet there just on purpose, just so that if Ralph watches, he can hear Raleigh. I hope you can hear Raleigh, Ralph. Ralph likes to hear Raleigh, so likes the donkey noises. Anyways, now a little rough, but let's see. See, we got a calf creek here, and this one's flared out. But most of them are just straight in, which is how this should have been, but it wasn't. Just is what it is. It just doesn't look as good when it's not. When it's not. This one's a little fatter. Still needs some work, I guess. Those are closer now. Having a tough time seeing that edge. I wonder if it'll show up any better against this. We'll bet on. Now I forgot what the measurements even were. 45 and 8, is that what it was? 5.5 to 1, 6 to 1, something like that. I probably should have taken it down, did some indirect and taken it down, but we didn't do any indirect on this at all, obviously. Should have thinned that down just a little bit more. Got her about 6 or 7 to 1. I guess my little flashlight just isn't very bright. I was trying to show translucency with, because boy, it sure shows up with that light. See all the way through it, but not so much with this one. I guess sort of, kind of you can see it. If we turn some of these lights off, maybe you can see it. How about this one? Let's turn this light off. Still got the big overhead light. Anyways, it's got some translucency to it. When I hold it up to this other light, it's you can see all the way through it, but I can't show that on camera. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to get a brighter light. The next one I will get thinner. We'll make another one of these. Not today, but we'll make some more. Size wise, I'm looking at the lengthwise and the depth of notches, and they are right, but they just look so much better when they're going straight up in there. But when I busted these out, then I had to even them up, and then they don't look the way I would like it to look, for sure. They're not all show pieces, I guess. And we're an hour in, so we're gonna call it quits right there. There's our Calf Creek attempt, and I would call it a failure. It is a point, but it's not how I intended it to be. But it's haftable. I mean, it looked good in a haft, you know, if you wanted to haft it. And I think if you did this and you're in camp and you hafted it, and then you know, once it was hafted, then your fellow caveman buddies, they would never know. They're not gonna go, oh man, you messed up those notches. Oh no, they wouldn't do that. They'd be, oh man, that's gonna kill that mastodon. Yeah, let's go get him. Yep. Be cool hafted, really. I like that. Make a good little knife, for sure. I might even haft it into a knife. We'll see. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all keep napping.